Hey guys, feeling like a collection update? Me too! Glad we're both on the same page. I feel like standing up today. I feel like I should have a pulpit in front of me. Maybe not. But we're down in the bunker, and the only thing going on in this house is you and me. I did a collection update last weekend, but got another 40 fucking albums that just keeps coming to my mailbox. What the hell? Yeah, got a nice chunk of stuff to show you. Hope this video finds you well. Per usual, background is an album I can't get over. This thing is great. And when I was kind of hyping myself up for this video, I don't know if you know that, before I shoot videos, I hype myself up. I get pumped. So, I was thinking, like, what am I going to say about this album? And I was like, it's going to be really hard to put into words what it is that makes this album so goddamn awesome. And that was when I thought, like, well, I might as well just play it in the background of the video so you guys can hear it. But it might be a little loud. And it might also be, at that volume, super intrusive because it's fucking powerful. So the band is called Woman Is the Earth. And the album's called Dust of Forever. This is their new one out on Init Records, a label out of Minneapolis. Woman Is the Earth is a band that would fit very well on Bindru recordings. I'm not saying that for any reason other than to illustrate that it's a modern take on black metal with a very atmospheric and heady kind of sound to it. But man, they're able to just, it's so speedy and fast. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like the last False record. But the power, they have this way of just like building up this mighty wave that just crashes over you. It's so fucking powerful and rapturing. Check it out. I'll leave a link down below to their Bandcamp. This might be my album of the year if it's not Halloween. Either way, this thing is just tremendous. Beautiful artwork. Also coming out on LP, I believe. This was delayed quite a bit. The album was actually, I think, recorded in 2019. And with all the vinyl delays, let me tell you, like, this vinyl backlog, or whatever you want to call it, is really getting bad, and it's going to get fucking worse. So everything you're going to see in here is CDs, and I strongly urge you guys to reconsider your, purity of the vinyl format, if that is where you stand. Seriously, this is not going to get better anytime soon from what I can tell in my perspective. It is real bad, but CDs, if labels order CDs, they can have them in 2 months or so. Maybe even less, I don't know. So, that's what we're going to be listening to. So last weekend I finally got in the new issue of Arcane Archivist, a magazine that I kind of twilight writing for, chiefly written by my friend Shiver, who's doing an excellent job curating black metal of the 90s and coupling that with a lot of great newer black metal artists who represent that kind of old school style, but not in a gatekeepy sort of exceptionalist kind of way. It's just, we're really trying to curate a context around the music that we love to illustrate that we have a great appreciation for the old school stuff like Gehenna, Dawn, Dismal Euphony, Forlorn, while featuring other artists like Holder, Tver, who are newer bands. So in this, I contributed some writing. I wrote the Dawn interview, which was a lot of fun. I really just went into Dawn and listened to nothing but Dawn for about 2 months straight while I was working on the interview. Got a playlist here. There's a picture of me that you maybe saw on some social medias throughout. Also had a great time writing the interview for Tver, which is another black metal band out of Minneapolis. The Henna is in here. One note is like, so back when Shiver and I started first corresponding, as a result of me doing these videos, I had sent him a package of goodies, and one of the things that I sent him was a handwritten, I believe, Balsagoth interview that was unpublished in a zine that I wrote on my own back in the day, back in 98, I believe. And so he was going to publish that alongside this current Balsagoth interview, but he forgot. And so, like, I can't think of a, like, would it be appropriate to print like an old unpublished Balsagoth interview in the next issue or going forward? We are going to be doing a compendium hardcover repress, if you will, of all the issues. So I don't know, maybe we get to issue 5 or so and kind of put them all out there in a book. So if you're having a hard time finding copies of this, like a lot of my international friends, fret not, because they'll be coming your way. Maybe wait a year or two, and that should be widely available. But also can't believe how incredible the cover art is here by my good buddy Tanner of Obsequiae. So that rules. The second pressing of those is now available, I believe, on the Shopify link, if I'm not mistaken. I'll leave it down below so you can check it out. This first edition was hand numbered 500, sold out in 2 hours or something like that. I don't know. This album rules. Shiver also sent me, so he loves to surprise me with some weirdo releases that are going to challenge me, but he knows that, like, the weight of my heart is the really weird stuff. And so he sent me this Furze album. It's called Trident Autocrat. And fuck, is this weird. I had heard another Furze album at some point a year or two ago on Bandcamp. Listened to it a little bit, but it was just so impenetrable and odd that I just kind of moved on to other things. Not that there was anything wrong with it, but this thing is absolutely nightmarish, just beyond all comparison odd, and I really can't wait. I listened to about half of it. I really can't wait to sit down and give this my full attention. Maybe a road trip tomorrow or something, this might do the trick, but really, really cool. I'm shocked that this was released on Candlelight in 2006. The uniqueness of it and just the balls out bizarreness of it, like, I would think this would never find home on a label like Candlelight. So, being that I'm pretty unfamiliar with Furze's discography, is this like an outlier weirdo, or is there like an era of stuff that's more normal that would make Candlelight be more motivated to sign a band like this? I don't know, like, what's going on with these guys, because I'm really interested in checking out a lot more stuff from this band. Ah, so good. Amazing. Last weekend, in case you missed it, I did join a live stream with Ken's Death Metal Crypt, where he was featuring some of his favorite YouTubers. It's the first time I've done a live stream since moving out here. I had to sit out in the garage and use my phone's data plan in order to be able to pull that off. It was fun, so check that out if you want to. I'll leave a link down below for you to tune in on that. It's nothing really super special, but it's just great to always spend some time with Ken and to have the honor bestowed upon me that he is a trusted supporter of me talking to you about bullshit that I love. So, where should we go next? Stopped in at the old record store the other day. I saw on their Instagram that there was a fucking massive heap of dirty, nasty black metal kind of stuff, mostly vinyl. And I just said, well, if you got that, I got to see what else there is. And it was some pretty great stuff, but like older pressings of stuff like, I don't know, like some of the better albums that came out around like 2003 to 2007. A lot of European stuff, a lot of, I don't know, just kind of a mixed bag. But pretty much everything was like between $40 and $60. And I ain't trying to spend that kind of money on vinyl right now. But this was in there, and this is something I've always wanted to get my hands on, but kind of never really got around to it. But so like this for me is the very bookend of Abhorr's first era for me. Now this is a release called Shockwave 666, and this was released on Dark Horizon Records, which is a label out of Indiana. And this is really nothing too special. There's a song called Dawn of Human Dust on here, which I think is on the name is escaping me now. Here, it shows, maybe we can find it. I believe it's on Channeling the Quintessence of Satan right now. I believe it's on this one. Possibly, if I'm not mistaken, Supreme Immortal Art. And then there's something like a remix version of a song called Repulsor. I haven't put this in yet since I got it. But doesn't this just look like, why does Abhor's name, why is it on here? I don't know. It's a strange hodgepodge kind of release that really doesn't need to exist. But for me, it was like the end of Abhor, and when they had broken up way back in the day. So they since reformed, if you're not aware, and put out a bunch of releases that I'm just not feeling. But yeah, pick that up for a couple of bucks. It's just so weird to see that pop up in a record store that's like 45 minutes from my house. I can't fucking believe how cool of a record store I have at my fingertips. So another thing, let's see, it's hard to keep all this in order. Just got a couple of things in the mail. Let's just go over this. As I talked about in my last video, this is Hema. So I said it was a demo compilation, but it's actually not. It's one demo from 2001, which they recorded in anticipation of their debut Light of the Dead Star. So most, if not all, of these tracks are on the debut, which is fucking amazing. And like the demo doesn't sound terrible whatsoever. It sounds great. In fact, the drumming on it is just unbelievable. This was limited to 300 copies, just came out a couple of months ago. It also includes a live set from 2002, and it's pretty good. Like, but now that I have it, it's maybe not as important or as essential as I maybe had considered it being when I first learned about its existence. But man, Hema fucking rules. The drummer in this band is... how does he do it? Unfucking touchable. Also got in... This is not a metal release, and this is something 90% of you are going to absolutely hate. But this is one of my favorite albums, and I've always wanted to get a copy of it. No one in the United States ever has copies of this thing. And it wasn't until like a couple of years ago where I was like, I really need to like buy copies of some of my favorite records. So I just kind of started shopping around for it, and ever since then I've just been kind of like saying, nope, I'm not going to spend $30 to get a CD of that over here. But this band is called Farmer's Market. And this album is called Music fra Hybriden. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. This is a Norwegian band. Very eclectic. I think maybe for fans of this kind of thing, I think they would probably call this a klezmer band, which I think the easiest comparison would be like a Jewish wedding band, if you will. But they like pull in tons of different kinds of world music from tons of different areas and weave them all seamlessly into these weird, bonkers, kind of Mr. Bungle-ish kind of sounds. In fact, the way I found out about this band is because Trey Spruance of Mr. Bungle sang their praises at some point back in 2000 or so, something around there. And I have listened to the shit out of this album digitally for years. And now that I have it on CD, I haven't played it at all. But this thing is just amazing. I know this album front to back, note for note, because I love it. So there you have it. So there's one big gargantuan box of stuff that I got in last week, and we will get to that last. But before that, the new Worm, Forever Glade, fucking untouchable. I'm a little surprised at how just straightforward Doom it is. It's a Doom record. Yeah, I want to do a full review of this, I think, but it's incredible. It's incredible. The tonality of it is second to none. The attention to detail and really, like, that artwork is just amazing. The attention to detail in representing the artists and the influences that went into influencing this album into becoming what it became is just so respectable and enjoyable. It's like there's tricks and treats in there for your metal newcomers, and there's a lot of things in there too that are like references to albums that could be lost on a lot of people, but like I hear Anathema's serenades in this. Obviously it sounds a shit ton like Transcendence into the Peripheral by Disembowelment. That's like the most obvious, easy comparison, but there's a lot of different things going on in this. I feel like a lot of albums that could be kind of hanging with this kind of album lack a lot of depth, because this thing, well, lack a lot of depth in comparison to this one because of what it brings to the table in the keyboard department. So I hope to do a full review of this guy pretty soon, but you might as well just pick it up. It's flawless, amazing. Like, expectations were high and motherfucker delivered. No question. Also, like, I'm just kind of picking up some classics. Somebody on Instagram is selling these for real cheap. Forbidden Evil. Great record. Wish this singer would kind of shut the fuck up sometimes. It's a little kind of overstaying his welcome, but Bay Area thrash, as you probably know, isn't really my kind of thing, but I don't know. My buddy Ron put this in a couple years ago, and I kind of liked it. Decided it was worth picking up for a little bit. Also, always meant to pick this fucking thing up, Persecution Mania by Wodos. I don't know, not the biggest Sodom fan, but this one really fucking doing it for me. Yeah, you should do all that. This is some like Brazilian pressing or so. I don't think it's OG really. But all that really matters is that this album fucking rips. You all should know that guy. Oh yeah, this is the other thing I picked up at my record store. So, one of my favorite YouTubers, a friend of mine who I think says that I kind of got him started making videos, Kellen from Killing for Company, it's a mouthful, did a great fucking series you should check out. throat is not dealing with me today. Did a series of videos where he talked about death metal albums of note post 2000, which I've talked about quite a bit. Like 2000 is the year when everybody was just kind of like, you know what, this fucking death metal has gotten really tired. And I was certainly one of those. And so I appreciate Kellen doing the fucking work and bringing to the forefront of my attention span a bunch of albums that are worthy of revisiting. And this is one of them that I just happened to come across in a used bin. The band is called Daemon D. Is it E-A? Yeah, E-A-M-O-N. Descend, Dethrone. Band is Quebecois. And yeah, it's like relentlessly blasty, insanely clicky, very, very chunky. But riffs that are, you know, worth continuing to listen to. I wouldn't say this is necessarily great, but for me to, you know, even really consider a death metal album that came out after 2000 is kind of saying something. And this is no slouch, and it's got a big weird seashell monster on it. Pretty cool. I appreciate the recommendation, Kellen. But that video series that he did was fucking amazing. I've always kind of thought about doing something like that. In fact, I may wind up doing something like a black metal post 2000 video, but the amount of work that it takes to cull through 20 years of death metal that is otherwise pretty forgettable, in my opinion, and find the things that really stick out and like subtract the things that everybody already knows about is just such a valuable thing to offer for free on YouTube. So thank you, Kellen, for doing that. I appreciate those recommendations, and I'm gonna like keep coming back to those videos and checking out more things and looking for them in used bins. Just seeing what I think. I love that. Also got any care packages from Marty Worm. He sent me this randomly General Surgery. It's called Corpus in Extremis Analyzing Necroticism. This thing fucking smokes. If I found this in a used bin, I would have just kind of glossed it over and not cared. This is fun. This is a lot of fucking fun. There must have been a promo cut out or something. Came out on Listenable Records. I don't know, probably 2007 or something like that. Who cares? I believe these guys have a new album out, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not one to buy a grindcore record these days at all. This thing is a lot of fun. Beefy, chunky, nasty stuff. Marty also sent me... oh, there you go. Where do you want to be? Bishop of Hexen's demo. I still haven't listened to this yet. Ancient Hymns and Legends of Lore, demo 96. I've had these guys debut on my wish list for a really long time. And Marty talked about it in a live stream. He said he actually reviewed this demo poorly in Worm Gear, and he got a death threat for it. And so I said, do you still have that demo that you got a death threat for? Because if you hate it, I might take it off your hands. So yeah, I haven't listened to this yet, but pretty excited. They were Israeli, I believe, black metal band from the 90s. A couple more takes. Haunted. I believe this is self-titled. This is their demo from 92. And my dude Cal from Grim Tooth's Very Metal Things, might recognize that cover art from some douchebag from Norway. He unearthed, by contacting this band, sealed copies of this demo from 1992. He's charging, I think, $15 a piece for these things. So fucking good. This is a Chicago band. Just it's so awesome to dig into a fucking sealed copy of a demo from 92. Chicago death metal. It's kind of a micro genre that I kind of study in a way, and I was really surprised to hear some very New York moments in this Chicago death metal demo. Just putting that out there. Also of note, my friend Ron put out this Dungeon Synth release. It's more kind of like a dreamy space synth kind of deal. It's been a while since I listened to this, so I won't get too into depth about it, but look at that cassette. Oh, and the purple jewel case on this guy. Fantastic job. For all you take nuts, the album is called Vampire Planet. On Bandcamp, if you wish. Couple more. Also picked up Sarcophagus In Ring. Never owned a copy of it. Not the biggest Brazilian thrash fan or so, but like, yeah, this is a kind of a required staple. And like, pressings of this honestly are not easy to come by. I think this just finally got reissued by Grey Haze, who were selling it for something like $11 or something like that. Also, on the recommendation of Midwestern Abyss, who is another YouTuber who I kind of spurred on to start a channel, and I love what he's doing. Played this in the background of one of his videos recently, and I remembered, fuck, I love that band. Never got around to picking up this release from them. The band is called Genocide. The band is called Genocide Shrines. It's past my bedtime. I'm slurring my words. I'm not shit-faced whatsoever, but the album, Manipura Imperial Death let's just call it Manipura. Really, really cool band from Sri Lanka, if I'm not mistaken. I have seen this guy's artwork on releases from Pathogen. Fucking love this stuff. Old Temple releases and stuff. But this is on Vault of Dried Bones. Anyways, so this band really has a lot in common with Disembowelment, but there's some black metal kind of things going on. There's just, it's fucking chaotic and dark, evil sounding, torturous, nightmarish kind of stuff. Really, really fucking cool release. It's a bit uncohesive for something I would ordinarily be enjoying, but it is fucking frightening and great. I appreciate the recommendation from Ed. Oh, by the way, before I get too far, you like how I'm like 28 minutes into this and I'm still like, let's get started. The shirts, the Brain Smasher shirts went out in the mail this week, so you should be receiving those if you haven't already. I am still taking orders for this thing because I forgot to order one for my fucking self. This is a large that was left over. I may do a giveaway or something at some point, or may just hang on to it for some reason. But so brainsmasher.bigcartel.com. Order one if you want to. Use the Patreon discount code if you're a Patreon subscriber. I'll send it to you. So yeah, I'm gonna take orders for that probably for another 2 weeks or so. Hoping this video doesn't take 3 weeks to edit. So yeah. And then pick this up. So this was one of those LPs that was sitting at that record store, and they wanted like $40 for it or so. And I was like, I almost did, but then I just got to look and I was like, let's get the CD for it. It's like $6. So this is Dimmy Borger's EP, Devil's Path, which was the release that was just before Enthroned Darkness Triumphant came out. And I guess I had kind of forgotten what was on that EP because I had been kind of like foaming at the mouth to get a copy of that for years. Back when I was like 18 years old. I've always kind of thought like, I should get that. So it's been reissued as a split with Old Man's Child, and their EP, which predates their debut, it's called In the Shades of Life. And so, hot take on this is the Dimmy Borger half sucks because it has a song, Master of Disharmony, which is on Enthroned Darkness Triumphant, and it's better on that album. And then there's the song Devil's Path, which I'm not sure if that's exclusive to this release or if it was on something else, but it's okay. And then there's 2 Celtic Frost covers of the same fucking song. So, fuck that nonsense. But this is worth it for In the Shades of Life. if you love Old Man's Child as much as I do, and since I've been really on a kick of like revisiting Norwegian black metal stuff from the 90s, this is the only way you can own this EP from Old Man's Child without owning the original copy, which was on Hot Records, and you'll probably have to pay around $40 to $50 for a CD copy of that motherfucker. So, Hammerheart and I guess this was just Carmageddon Media, put this out in, I don't know, 06? At some point. You can get this on the cheap, and I recommend it. The Old Man's Child, half of it is fucking great. I haven't looked to see if these songs are on the debut. I don't remember these song titles, so I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that these are exclusive to this release, but it's fucking cool. So, okay, my buddy Troy has had just kind of like a pile of promo stuff. He's way more into vinyl than anything, just kind of clearing out some junk on his shelves. And so he sent me a list of stuff that he was getting rid of for like $1 or $2 a piece. And these are like promos that were cut up or CDs that were just like the booklet and the disc. So I was like, yeah, I'll take a look. And I actually got some pretty cool stuff out of it. I'm pretty stoked on kind of filling some holes with some like shitty copies of things that I can certainly replace at some point if I ever find a legit copy, or things that like I wouldn't ordinarily spend, more than anything for. So I got these on the cheap. I got these really cheap, and so it was fun to be able to pick up some of this stuff and just kind of have a giant pile of goodies fall in my lap for under 20 bucks. So Troy, I appreciate this. This is a lot of fun. Not sure if you watch my videos, but so I put them in jewel cases. They were a stack of they're just a stack in a box. So first we have Diabolicum, the Grandeur of Hell. I'm really shocked that this band didn't take off more than they did, if they did at all. I don't feel like most people really know what this is. And weirdly enough, this came out on Napalm Records. I need to listen to this some more and kind of dig into it and learn some more about this band. But like, this could very much easily be mistaken for like a Mysticum album that would have followed up in the Strings of Inferno. It's very industrial sounding. It's very drum machine heavy, but sounds like every bit as good as early Watain did. They're from Sweden. These guys even did a split with Watain early on, which is, I think, how I kind of became aware of this band. So this was just like a promo card, promo sleeve kind of deal. So I just kind of cut it down and put it in this slimline case for now. It's fucking good. I recommend it. For fans of Blow Up Mine, Ethereal, all that kind of shit. It's great. Like, there's the strong drum machine industrial element isn't so much that would like really scare off anybody who might be kind of weirded out by that kind of thing. It's not super modern in a way, which I really appreciate about it. Like, you could tell me something was industrial or techno, and I would worry that it's something like that Covenant stuff that came out after Nexus Polaris. Like, nah, I'm good. Diabolicum is like very, very different. This, I think, is maybe the only Judas Scaried album that I didn't have on CD. I used to have it, I got rid of it, thought it was dumb, but Distant Solitary Night, been listening to this quite a bit. This thing fucking rules. And it's funny because my buddy Simon, Explosive Action, messaged me the other day, and he's been getting into Judas Iscariot. I really, really, really like this album. I kind of had so I bought a bunch of Judas Iscariot albums back when I was like 20 or so, and the drumming on them is pretty fucking dreadful, even though the songwriting is really, really, really good. So I just got rid of a lot of that stuff. I love To Embrace the Corpse's Bleeding, and anything Dwayne Timlin plays drums on, that stuff is some of the best US black metal ever recorded. Stuff that he played drums on himself, that's how I was feeling back then. But I'm really coming around to it, and Distant Solitary Night is really, really cool. Also picked this up, Origin, Borknagar, shit sucks, don't buy it. Terrible. Fucking awful. Also picked up Don't Break the Oath, Mercyful Fate. Not the biggest fan of Fate, but the music is so fucking great. I just can't fucking hang with his vocals much at all. Maybe I'll come around to it, but man, it's been 25 fucking years and I still don't get it. I still don't get why this guy opened his mouth in front of these musicians and they were all like, yeah, keep it up. What? Anyways, this is a lot of fun. I've been really kind of in an old school kind of mood. Sarcophagus, Sodom, stuff like that. Anyways, moving on. Also picked up Bloodthorn. Is this Under the Reign of Terror? I'm not too familiar with this band really. I kind of have an idea of their sound, but I've never owned anything by this band. Norwegian band, I believe. Necro Butcher played bass in that band or some shit. I don't know. Also sent me this. I didn't order this. He sent me this as a freebie. Canate. I don't know. Never heard it. Also, a thing I ordered. Let's get back into that. The Infernal. Satan's Wrath. This is stupid. Look at this. Look at this guy's pecker. Pretty fun. Just ultra blasphemous satanic black metal from the US. Also picked up this heresy. Mythical Beasts and Medieval Warfare. I didn't know what this was. I looked it up. It looked kind of cool. It's very, very synthy. I believe these guys are from like Lithuania. Very like fantasy-based kind of stuff. Year 2000. Like the music was really cool, but there's a just ton of female vocals all over this kind of thing, and it's like, look, guys, I know you guys paid this lady for her studio time, but like, you need to remember to keep being a black metal band, you know? Also picked up this Ancient Black Earth, Sadistic Intent. Only 3 tracks on this little EP guy, but doesn't it break your fucking heart? This band has never released a fucking full length. What the fuck are they doing? Like, I'm so angry about this. Good stuff. Also picked up Telepathic with the Deceased, Saster. I don't really get it. There's a couple Saster releases I do kind of like, but God, this just sounds like garbage. Maybe I'm just not feeling it right now. I know a lot of guys are like really into this one. Maybe I'll try that again this weekend. I don't know. Gareth, Tenebrarum Cadent Exurgimus. I don't know. I think everybody who's ever heard this album has let out unanimous. That's just New Jersey black metal from like '96. Yeah, it's just there. It's just kind of there, whatever. Lastly, no, there's one more. Tidfall, Circular Supremacy. This is kind of one of those turn of the century albums, bands, very kind of Emperor influenced, but really turned it up a notch with the digital sound and very, I don't know, this could be upwards of like 290 BPM or so. I'm not sure if this is a real drummer or not, but it's very symphonic, and for that reason it's pretty compelling and cool. It's just got a lot of cringy, just really slick, polished kind of black leather pants kind of style to it, which on most days I'm not really feeling. But I have had this on my wish list for a couple of years and just kind of never really got around to picking this up. Nocturnal Art put this out, I believe. That's Samoth's label. So, I don't know. I put it in for a couple of tracks and I was like, yeah, that's what that is. Maybe someday it'll really hit the mark or something. Also, I forgot this earlier, so pick up the Stigma Diabolicum from Thorns. Another Kirk Productions release. I just really, really love the way that Kirk packages everything. I love their collections of bands' demos. And Thorns were a pretty good band. This is, I believe, everything they recorded. And a lot of this is like really, really boring, just like riff tapes. No vocals, no drums, just guitar and bass. A couple of paintings here. So like the couple of tracks that were fully fleshed out were very, very great. And the riff tape stuff, whatever. There's some rehearsal stuff that does have drums with it. I've always thought it would be a really fun project to take these riff tape songs and actually add drums to them and kind of cover them in a way, but kind of add what they lack and just kind of really try and, I don't know, curate the context as which these would have been fully realized had that ever come to fruition. Just an idea. If you're out there looking for ideas, do it. So that's all we got. We're caught up. The album's over. That was Woman of the Earth. I hope you check that shit out. I hope you check out some of this stuff if any of it was unfamiliar to you. Again, the shirt, another 2 weeks, and you're done. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.